that some of the new ideas that we have around how to both manage the tournament. I'm already fucking this up. That's okay. Yeah, it'll be fine. Hi, I'm Jason Behrens. I am the head instructor at Denver Historical Fencing Academy and the president of the HEMA Alliance. Today I just wanted to give you a brief video talking about some of the basic things that we're doing with our tournament in July 12th here in Denver, Colorado, called the Mid-Continental HEMA Open, or the MCHO, or if you're going to be snarky, the MCHO. The entire point of this tournament, and the whole reason why DHFA is even putting on a tournament at all, is we want to focus on the fencing experience primarily. A lot of tournaments try to have some really exotic rule sets, or some really kind of, they want to get as many different types of tournaments in as possible, whereas we're focusing on the fencing experience itself. What do I mean by that? There's going to be a couple of things that play into that. First thing, every match will be 3 minutes in length. Obviously that we do have some point caps that we'll be putting in place, but rather than doing a minute and a half of stopped time or 3 minutes where it's a continuous timer even when they're judging, we wanted to make certain that people got as much fencing time in over the weekend as possible. And we've made certain through some testing in some beta tournaments that we've had that we're able to keep our pools on time and still give people a full 3 minutes of fencing time. So you don't have to rush your matches, you don't have to suddenly find yourself behind on score and having to panic and kind of assault your opponent in some ways that may not be as martially sound as we'd like them to be. The other thing that we're doing to help give people as much fencing time as possible is that everybody is moving on to elims. So we don't want people having to travel from wherever they go and happen to have a crap pool and suddenly not have to fence anymore. That can be a little defeating, especially when you spent money and you decide to spend your weekend with us here in Denver. So everyone moves on to elims, and that is for all of the tournaments that we have all weekend long. Speaking of tournaments that we have a couple of different things that we're doing I do want to talk about, but we're keeping it relatively simple this year. This is our first year putting on a tournament of this size. We want to make certain that we do everything right. So because of that, we have 3 open longsword tournaments. We have the full open tournament where everyone can join that. The women's tournament, where any person who identifies as a woman is able to participate, as well as a beginner's tournament. We are currently working on how we classify a beginner. However, our general rule of thumb right now is that you've only done a couple of tournaments, maybe 3 or 4, and anything less than that, we can consider you a beginner. In addition to that, we are also doing a teen longsword tournament that is budgeted for teens, so it's only $25. Teens don't have to pay the base registration. They can just pay the $25 and participate in that event. We already have about 7 or 8 teens participating, so if you have folks that have been kind of itching to get in there, as long as they're under 18 and over 13, they're more than welcome to join the tournament itself. But as I was mentioning about the longsword tournaments, I want to go back to those for a second. As long as you qualify for a given tournament, you are allowed to participate. We have no silly rules around if you're in women's, you can't participate in the open, or if you're in the beginners, you can't participate in the open. If you qualify to be in the women's, the beginners, and the open, you're able to participate in all 3. We don't want to inhibit people from being able to participate in any capacity. We have more than enough space, more than enough time to handle that. This also includes, again, if you identify as a woman, you are able to participate in the women's tournament. There's not a whole lot I have to really say about that. Other than that, what we have going on that weekend is a steel saber tournament. As much as we love to have single stick here in the club, We've been really excited seeing saber become more and more popular here in the U.S., and we want to help foster that scene and that community. So we are supplying steel sabers for that tournament, and we'll be announcing what models we'll be bringing in for that at a later date. And then finally, one of the things that we're really excited about is a skills course. Every time I bring this up, people wonder what I mean by that, and it's really simple. Think of some of the tactical shooting courses you've seen people do online, where you're essentially running through not necessarily obstacles, but different scenarios and different potential techniques that you may need to use. We have some subsequent videos coming about the skills course, but there's a really great video of, this is one of my favorites, of Keanu Reeves running a tactical shooting course online. If you want to get a flavor for what we're looking for, that's a great place to kind of start. But essentially, we're looking to test how well you use a longsword and how dynamic you are with it, rather than necessarily testing your edge alignment or using sharps or anything like that. As much as we like cutting competitions, we wanted something that was both fun and took a different aspect of longsword, rather than just having to stand there and cut a piece of tatami. I also personally don't want to soak that many mats. So again, we have a couple other videos coming down the pipe talking about the general format of what we're trying to do, so you can get an idea, as well as explaining our rule set and some of the interesting quirks about our rule set itself. And we're really excited to share that with you guys. And I really do, from the bottom of my heart, hope to have as many of you out here in Denver as possible. We're really hoping to kind of bring both the East Coast and the West Coast a little bit more together here in the middle of the country. And plus, it's Denver. It's amazing. So come out and hang out with us, and have a good day. Bye.